Hi everyone, McBeard here, back with another video for you. Sorry if my voice is a little strange. I'm currently sick, getting over some illness, but I needed to get this video out for you because I have some really great footage to share with you of this particular deck. This is Trinet's Handbuff Brouver, and one of the reasons why this was so appealing to me is that it's a little different from typical Scoia'Tael Elf Swarm that's out there right now, and I wanted to try to play a little bit of Scoia'Tael just for a change. As it turns out, this deck is extremely strong, not just because it's good generally, and not just because it has very strong tools in it, like Scoia'Tael's specific most hated combos, like the Brouver Hoog into Barclay into Cleaver situation. So that's the thing that's in this deck. So don't hate me, but that's part of the combo of this deck. This deck is very competitive, so it does have its strongest things, and it also has the 3 Wardancers in it. So if you can get past the terrible, terrible feeling that you would feel by playing these cards, you will find that this deck is actually a very refreshing take on the traditional sort of Elf Swarm, Half-Elf Hunter, Vriad Vanguard, Vriad Officer situation, because this is totally different, right? This is playing Neophytes, Dragoons, Hawker Supports, and Elven Swordmasters. Now, this particular deck is very good in a meta where there's a lot of Henselt and Greatsword, and I don't mean like it's pretty good. It's like one-sided. It is such a devastating deck to play against. If you're Henselt or Greatsword, it's very hard to win against this deck. And if you run into this deck playing Henselt or Greatsword, you probably already know about it. It's nasty. It controls all your engines. It just takes out everything with control to spare, but still actually produces enough tempo to beat many other decks as well. The deck, unfortunately, will lose to a lot of stuff out there. Like Consume is very hard to beat. One muzzle isn't enough to stop Consume. And, you know, some of the Emir / Morvran sort of hand buff, Wyvern Scale Shield, big body in the hand, reveal type stuff. Like that stuff will probably beat you too. A lot of the stuff that's kind of off meta, weird, not super tier 1, does actually beat this deck up pretty bad because this deck relies on your opponent's strategy a little bit. But let's just go through the cards just so you can understand. So a Glaze is pretty damn good. A Glaze will be often a Runestone or a Reconnaissance. You don't need to run Triss if you can just use your opponent's Reconnaissance. Sometimes it's Weather, but you're usually going to get a good amount of points from a Glaze since she starts at 8. She's often a Scorch as well, but be careful to not Scorch a Glaze. I've almost made that mistake a few times, not lately, but, you know, it does come up where you're playing hand buff, your Glaze gets buffed to 10 by, you know, random buffs by Dragoons and Neophytes, and you can't Scorch anymore because a Glaze is now the largest body. So watch out for that. You can use Marching Orders and stuff, but Marching Orders isn't that good either because of Wardancer. But, you know, you get a lot of use out of a Glaze. Like, I don't think there's ever been a game where I felt like a Glaze was dead, unless she was actually dead and, like, my opponent only played Scorch. Like, stuff like that. So you'll take it at 8 points, I guess, but it's usually not that often. It's a very good card. Eskel Pathfinder is an interesting card in this list. So Eskel Pathfinder is good in a Skellige meta. Lots of big, white-numbered big bodies to destroy with Eskel. And can also destroy Yaevinn. So worst case, you're up against full test, everything is boosted. You play Yaevinn, you can play Eskel, you get the 20 points for it. Not true 20 points because you gave your opponent 13, but you know what I'm trying to say. So if you need to take a round where you would normally spend Brouver, Barclay, Cleaver to make that 26-point leader play, let's just assume that you're getting 10 points off of Cleaver. Instead, you can play Eskel and then keep Brouver for later. They're both control options. Almost every piece of this deck is control related, so Eskel is just one more piece that does that. I think Eskel is a great pick. I was playing Eskel a little bit before I even heard about this deck, so I just think that Eskel gets a decent amount of value, 18 to 22 on a regular basis. You should try Eskel if you don't play him. I think he's pretty good. Yorveth, 8 damage removal, good to kill a unbuffed Greatsword, good to kill so many of the engines in the game, plus you play it early to buff your hand. Just a solid card. You really do want to play it in round 1, but, you know, you'll take it in round 3 if you have to. Muzzle is fantastic. Muzzle denies your opponent engine pieces in so many ways, but also makes up your own builds your own board up as well. So it steals Greatswords, it steals Dragoons that come out of Slave Drivers, it steals Hawker Smugglers that come out of Elven Scouts, it steals Archospores, it steals Redanian Night Elects, it steals Kadwini Siege Support. Like, there's so many cards that this can steal, and at worst it's just a 16-point play because there's usually always in a long round an 8-point bronze card that you can take, or silver card. It takes Morkvarg, you know, it takes lots of stuff. So Muzzle is fantastic, just fantastic. Yaevinn, obviously it's the spy. I don't need to really elaborate on this. Your card advantage spy that you play, you can play it nice and early with Brouver or from hand, and you can make up the difference with Brouver into Barclay into Cleaver. Cleaver and Barclay, let's talk about this combo. People hate this combo. This combo is probably going to see a nerf. I wouldn't be surprised, but when you play Brouver and Barclay, that's 6 points. Cleaver comes out buffed at 10, 16 points. If your hand has 10 cards in it, usually early game it does after you play Yaevinn. It's a 26-point play. It is by far one of the strongest things in the entire game. What else is there to say? Play Cleaver for control. If you don't think you need to control, play Cleaver for max value. I tend to save it for control. I'm fine if it's like 22 points, really. It's not that big a deal. So Cleaver, Barclay, Brouver is the, you know, it's carrying Scoia'Tael as a faction generally. Brienne, a 4th Swordmaster. It's really what it is. You may or may not think that this is worth your time, but I do believe that having Brienne and 3 Swordmasters is fantastic. The extra point on Aglace is negligible, but having Brienne as another removal option that just kind of gets that double dip cheat on Handbuff. You just want to have your hand full of cards that get benefit from Handbuff. Brienne is just one more of those cards. Vadermaker and Ida, both of these I can talk about. You're playing them for Thunder a lot of the time. Long round 2s after your opponent passes, play them for Weather so you can stay in the game. I think that just generally that's just how it is. Ida sometimes can clear Weather in a clutch situation. So I think that personally just playing them for Thunder is fine. Alzur's Thunder is very strong. 9 points is very, very good. And there's your silvers. Now you talk about your bronzes. Neophytes play, like generally when you're playing cards with that deck, you're playing to stay ahead at any point. If you can afford to play something and stay ahead, you will. If you can afford to play Varied Neophyte and it's enough to get ahead, play it. Carryover is worth it. Same with Hawker Support. Let's say you're down by 5 points. Play your Hawker Support, put the buff on your Swordmaster, and you've just basically played, you know, in a roundabout way, 6 points plus 7 points. So it's very close to being like a 13-point card because you get the carryover on the Elven Swordmaster. Late game, the Elven Swordmasters can be ridiculously strong. I've played them at 17, 18 points. You know, 34, 36-point bronze is unbelievable. If you can get the full value on it, if you get last card, you can dig into a Syria Nova and you get those points. Really, really good. Finally, Wardancer is your protection against an open pass, your protection against the beginning round. Points, just points whenever you need them, carryover that can't be interacted with. All the things you don't like about Wardancer work for you in this deck. So check out this deck. It's really good. Trinet123, winner of the Wild Hunt Philadelphia tournament, has been playing this deck quite a bit. I love this deck. I think it's very, very strong and it's different. And it also deals with some strong meta decks like Henselt and Greatsword. And because of that reason, it actually may be a tournament meta deck as well. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check out the gameplay, like and subscribe if you liked everything. And I'll see you again real soon. Thanks again, everybody. But wait, one more thing. Audio is a little desynced in this video. I'm also not using my traditional lighting, so it just looks a little strange on the cam. But I apologize for the audio desync. I try to correct it when I can, but it just happens when I download Twitch highlights and my computer records. I don't really know what the problem is. I'm working on it. Thanks, guys. Okay, once again, this appears to be an okay start. We do have Yorvath. This is a mirror, and if we go second, we might win it. If we go first, we probably won't. Lurker for YouTube, Chape, I owe you a new video then. To all my people from YouTube, I haven't posted a video in a week now, and I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that. It's been a wild and crazy time. We get to go second. Good to know.
Right, fine. Coexistence. No
Tough pick there, but I'll take Muzzle here. It's Brouver, right? So I imagine he has ways to fix this. This won't be a problem for him. If for whatever reason he drew so badly that he can't play Yaevinn on me now, then I really feel good about the matchup. Wrong pact with Mr. O'Dim, maybe. Ooh. My lighting looks very ominous. Yeah, I'm going by the computer screen light now. I'm going by the computer screen light for now because I feel like it looks good, and honestly having the lamp shining in my eyes all the time is actually gives me a headache sometimes. It makes me very irritable sometimes, like after like 4 or 5 hours of it, so just trying to do it like this now. Hope it's cool with you guys.
Nothing like a dwarf to get you to a tight spot.
Alright, time to play Yaevinn next.
I've got to get this stinking mess in order.
Yeah. It's going the way I imagined it would go here. Oh, it's interesting. He's not actually... Okay. Not running the Believer. Not running the Believer combo. Leave it to Believer, you know? Tell some ghost stories.
Now we will see who is weak.
And Eilerin. Okay, big differences here now. Now we're seeing some differences. We do want to stay in this, though, of course. Dun, dun, dun. Cha, cha, cha. We want to stay ahead, always. Probably just play Neophyte here, then.
I shall not fail.
You like it, but you're a little scared? It's okay, you should be scared. You should be scared. Oh, he's running Panthers, so let's get these rows built up then.
I shall not fail.
I'm coming for you. Scary, scary. How does it look, though? Let me just... How does it look? Ah, you know, you'll probably get used to it. You're used to seeing it, like, more like this, I guess? But with the light also shining in my face? What are you growling about? What are you growling about, doggo? Alright, now we can get away with playing this.
You'll regret your mum ever squirted you out.
Give a buff to Brian here. Your brain shouting, that's Shoop. Could be Shoop. Oh, he could be Shoop. Oh, it is. It could be Shoop. You're right. It could be Shoop. Damn, that's a hefty trap right there. Think I might want to take that out. It's a real price to pay. I mean, the zap is worth 9, but this is worth 10. Bran can also kill it, but Bran's worth way more. This is a weird one. I don't think I normally would do this, but I'm doing it. Wish there was a reverse muzzle card. Give your opponent a unit. Hey, I mean, that's a future mechanic that they could probably put, like, they could probably get like 6 or 10 cards that work on that mechanic, like reverse charm and cards that are bad to have on your own board. But then again, why would they make cards like that instead of just making cards that produce those items? I don't know. Like, this is an interesting new way to take. Interesting ways to take it. I mean, I'm waiting for like a Dragoon or something, but I don't know if I'm going to get it if this is Shoop, and it looks very Shoopy, right? Looks very Shoopy, so I think we just want to stay ahead on even cards at all times.
This is what we play.
Oh, here we go. Back to kill. What's going on? Isn't that operator kind of? Isn't that operator kind of? I mean, kind of. It kind of is. But we're like talking about something bad on the board being pushed to your opponent's side of the board. Back to kill. What's going on? Thanks for the host, my man. Hope you had a great stream. Well, we just want to stay ahead on even cards, like I said here.
Why have you summoned me?
So we'll do that.
Scoia'Tael! Attack!
Excellent that we can play this now.
Oi! Hey there! Come here!
Give the buff to the 7 to bring it up to 10, so we can get a hit on the 10 here on this row. So got the sniffles today, my friends.
Now we must stick together.
Fighting something. I mean, he can't go all the way down, right? Like, he can't go all the way, right?
Swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn.
We for sure take this, I think. Okay. We have a good card that's kept here. Considering we're going to probably pass. Maybe play a Wardancer. He already played his Wardancer. Eskel. Very nice. Neophyte. Not bad. Keep it. If it's Shoop, which we can safely say it is, he won't be playing Wardancer because he already played it. So we'll be able to pass on him. And then we can just call it a day, right? Hay fever in the snowy wasteland. Well, it's spring, but at the same time, it's snowy. I also could be harboring a cold that's not manifesting itself in like normal symptoms, and I just have a runny nose. It's happened before. Well, I mean, that's pretty good for him, I guess. It just definitely gives me targets. The Hawker support on Brienne kills Shoop, 100%, and then extra buffs here just make this a little bit sweeter. So I think this is probably fine. Aglace would be nice, but I think this is probably the best thing to make Brienne ultimately like my final piece here.
You'll regret your mum ever squirted you out.
12-point gold. 12-point gold. Well, it's 24 points, technically. Let's be honest. It just 12 of those points didn't matter so much.
Drink this, you'll feel better.
None shall tread on us.
All right, that's a great Eskel target. Awesome. There's no way. What is that, Scorch?
Sure, no problem.
Fourth day.
There. Now
Let them dangle.
a while.
Let them dangle. Let them dangle, boys and girls. Let them dangle. Let them dangle. Oh, you know, one more good game like that, and I'm just going to switch back to my tunes because this is footage as far as I'm concerned. Footage. Footage. Good game, good game. I mean, that was honestly coin flip situation. Also, his Shoop elves. Very interesting, but if this is Greatswords, we can make this a threefer. If this is Greatswords, sign me up. So we got an answer for Greatsword 1, 2, 3, 4 potentially. Here's an answer to a Greatsword. But there's even more answers like Muzzle and Eskel and Vadermaker that I want, and I want them all. Damn it. Okay, this does suck for us, what happened just now. I got a little greedy, I think. But if this is Greatsword, we pass on them anyway, I think. On blue coin, so it's probably fine. Because they have nothing to work with in the graveyard, and then we can start slaughtering. Could be Vets, too. In which case, we're in bad shape, I think, because Vets just smoke us. It's not Vets, it's Greatsword, so we should be able to win this matchup. We won't be able to play our Wardancer, though, but we'll have it for round 3 for whatever reason, so we could get screwed there. But we really need Cleaver to be in the deck. That's, like, really hyper important. Dr. Gray, so much removal. I mean, that's what makes this matchup so great. Wardancer. Oh, that's so awful. Two cards I can't play in this matchup, so it's going to be pretty bad, I think. I mean, I do have Vader Maker here if I want to not play Yaevinn. I think I don't need to play Yaevinn because I did the open pass.
Slaughter them to a man.
Good buff. Now we just kill all the Greatswords. No muzzle, no Eskel sucks though. Just lamenting the state of this meta. You love your engines too much? Yeah, I mean the meta, but the meta's still changing. Like this deck is rising in popularity. Greatsword's now more popular than ever, and that was in open. There was only one person who brought it. This meta is still changing. This meta is still changing, guys. Buffing the ship, huh?
Oi, hey there, come here.
Gives me some room to build more Greatsword killers, I guess.
I once lopped off 3 heads with one blow.
Piece of lembas.
Is he trying to wait out Barclay? Or is he trying to wait out, like, Yaevinn or something like that? Like, wait out Brouver before playing anything? I might just Mandrake this back. It's kind of scary. It's scaring me a little bit. Puts me in a pretty good position as well. I don't want him to just pass on me. I also may need to be killing Greatswords every turn after this. So I think actually playing Mandrake now is probably okay.
You'll be fine.
Good buffs right here by the Dragoon. Cleaver gets harder and harder to play here.
The time of the white frost and white light.
Because this guy, like, he didn't play the Greatswords right away because that would have been an easy Cleaver play for me. So now he's making it so, like, Cleaver's going to be weak when I finally get it. And it's all because of my mulligan earlier. I could have played in the first round. Although passing, I still think is correct. Okay, so I can play Cleaver now because Cleaver is at 7. No, I can't, actually. Cleaver's only at 6. But I really can't give... I can't really... I could play Cleaver with Brouver, but then Barclay is dead. That's also awful. But I don't want to let the Heimei...
We've hammered enough. Let's get to work.
This looks desperate, but I still have 2 really good answers. He has 2 Greatswords in the graveyard already? He sure does. But the reses, right? He has 3 reses, maybe even 4 reses, possibly even 5 reses.
Get a move on, lads. Look alive.
That was probably pointless of me to... It was probably pointless to do that.
We serve her who is virgin, mother, and crone.
Only got one more answer, guys.
I fear nothing. You only live once.
Too fast for you, Juan.
You've sailed into troubled waters, mate. None shall tread on us.
Okay. Be ahead. Just be ahead for the pass.
The mother goddess.
Dead spear. That's what I'm talking about. Dead hay maze. Dead hay maze.
You'll regret your mum ever squirted you out.
What's the play, my man? What's the play? Those ships, he messed that much, yeah? Spear Maiden won't get a ship, no. He has them all. Yeah, Spear Maiden can get ships too. I forget that all the time. It's just they want to save their Spear Maiden, so they play. They hold for their ships, right?
What do you need?
Don't think I bite. Unless I have to, I'm not biting.
Too fast for you, Juan.
Don't think he's going to play that card. No, I don't think he's going to play that card. Makes me feel filthy watching it being played. It is filthy, yeah. It shuts down really good decks. That's why it's good. That's why it's a really good meta deck right now. Doing that math, huh? Doing that ship math. Hey, if he plays another card and we go into top deck mode. Brought it back, but it never even buffed itself. Although he got buffs from the. But like, what is like one of those ships is pretty big, I think. 11, 13, like. I mean, I don't know. This could end up being pretty bad. Like Yaevinn or something like that.
None shall tread on us.
He's going to play something small here, I imagine. We may lose this.
You've sailed into troubled waters.
Oh, he didn't. Okay. So we get... Actually, this might be fine.
May your sword and arm
26
be one.
points. Beats Siri Nova, and that's all I care about.
I suppose.
Oh! Close one.
Ha! You're worth the trouble.
You're worth the trouble. Sirens eat your innards. Good stuff, guys. There you have it. There's your hand-buff dwarves. Shutting down the competition one slice at a time. Today you faced this deck 3 times. You created this. As the deck works, this is Trinet. Trinet123. I don't know if he created it, but he's definitely playing a lot of it, and I wouldn't put it past him. He's a pretty good deck builder and has an eye for really good stuff in long rounds and stuff like that. So, yeah, Trinet picked it out. Even though this is live on Twitch, I'm still going to say this, so I don't have to cut it in later. But check the link in the description. I'll put the guide. I'll put the guide in the description. And have a great day. So that's how the video is going to end.